They were trying to compel people to say he was the greatest. Michael Jordan didn't say that about himself.
Stephen A. Smith didn't drop a take. He dropped a grenade, and the shockwaves ran straight through the heart of the GOAT conversation. For years, we've watched this debate drag back from the dead every time someone hits a milestone or drops a 40-piece. But this time, the argument didn't sound like a debate anymore. It sounded like a reality check, the kind that makes half the basketball world sit up and the other half suddenly get very, very quiet. Because here's the uncomfortable truth Stephen A. finally said out loud. Michael Jordan never had to tell you he was the greatest. Everyone else did it for him. LeBron James, on the other hand, hasn't stopped telling us. And once you notice that difference, you can't unsee it. Think about it. Jordan never called himself the GOAT. Kobe never did it. Kareem never did it. Bill Russell had 11 rings and didn't say it. Tim Duncan barely said anything at all. Steph Curry changed the geometry of basketball and still never called himself the greatest shooter alive. Not Reggie Miller, not Ray Allen, not anyone. The only all-time legend who's ever publicly crowned himself is LeBron James. And that matters because greatness that needs to be announced rarely lasts. Greatness that's undeniable doesn't need a PR team. For years, LeBron's camp has pushed the same message. He's the greatest of all time. Not hinted, not suggested, declared over and over until the repetition itself became part of the brand. And every time someone questioned it, every time a reporter raised an eyebrow, the response wasn't confidence, it was defensiveness. A kind of panic that didn't sound like dominance. It sounded like insecurity. Jordan never chased validation. He created it. His greatness was a force of nature, a storm you survived, not a speech you listened to. The man walked into the NBA, took a struggling Chicago franchise, and by his 7th season, he had a ring. By his 11th, he had 6 of them, 6 finals, 6 wins, 6 finals MVPs, a perfect record burned into basketball history. And then there's the 40-point games. Jordan dropped 173 40-point games, most of them in an era where defenders were allowed to put you in a chokehold on the way to the rim. Hand checking, elbows, clotheslines. It wasn't defense, it was trench warfare. LeBron, in year 22, just hit his 78th. 2 decades, all the sports science in the world. And he's not even halfway there. That's not a gap, that's a canyon so wide you couldn't jump it in your prime. Jordan didn't need load management, he didn't need cryotherapy, he didn't need recovery labs that looked like alien spaceships. He played through pain because that's how the game worked back then. You didn't manage discomfort, you survived it. And then came Jordan at 40 years old, not chasing legacy, not padding stats, just playing because he loved the game. And he dropped 40 in an NBA that had moved on without him. No hype machine, no spotlight begging people to notice. Just a reminder that true greatness isn't something you grow into, it's something that never leaves. Now look at how LeBron's story unfolded. 8 years into his career, he still hadn't figured out how to win. 1 finals trip, 1 sweep, no fire, no killer instinct, just frustration. And when the pressure mounted, he didn't push through it. He left. He built a super team in Miami with 2 Hall of Famers and finally learned how to win. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not the same thing as walking into a franchise and rewriting its destiny from scratch. Jordan didn't need a change of scenery. He didn't need star teammates to show him the formula. He was the formula. And that's why Stephen A's words hit so hard. LeBron has had 7 extra seasons, hundreds more games, more stars beside him than Jordan ever dreamed of, more advances in medicine, conditioning, and training than any athlete in history. And even with all of that, he's still chasing Jordan. Not tied, not surpassed, still chasing. Longevity is impressive, but it's not dominance. Playing longer doesn't make you better. It just means you played longer. Jordan conquered the sport in half the time. And here's the punchline Stephen A delivered with surgical precision. Everybody already recognizes LeBron as one of the top 3 players in history. What more do you want? A diaper and a bib? That's the core of this whole conversation. LeBron isn't fighting for respect. He already has that. He's fighting for worship. He's fighting for the crown. And every time he or his camp has to remind the world he deserves it, it only proves he doesn't have it. Greatness that's real doesn't need protection. It doesn't need spin. It doesn't need campaigns. Jordan didn't build a narrative. He built a dynasty. He didn't tell us he was the greatest. He showed us until we ran out of reasons to deny it. And that's why this debate feels different today. One legacy stands on its own, the other feels like it's being edited live, rewritten every season to fit the newest milestone. Jordan's story is finished. Perfect, clean, untouchable. LeBron's story keeps needing footnotes. So the next time someone looks you dead in the eye and insists LeBron is the GOAT, remember what Stephen A. Smith said. 7 extra years, every modern advantage, and he still couldn't catch him. Dominance isn't measured in time, it's measured in impact, and Jordan's impact is still echoing louder than ever. So now it's your turn. Is this debate finally over? Or are we still going to pretend longevity is the same thing as perfection? Drop your take in the comments. Hit like if this clarified anything for you, share it with the LeBron fan in your group chat who refuses to listen, and subscribe for more deep dives into the legends, myths, and madness of the NBA. The truth doesn't need defending, it just needs to be heard. And the crown still belongs to Jordan.